Welcome to episode 2, and today's episode is about looking at Amazon to Amazon deals and how to kind of quickly identify whether they're worth buying or not. So with Amazon to Amazon, first off, what it is you are buying from Amazon, getting it delivered to you, and then selling it back on Amazon for a profit. And there's there's actually 3 ways you can do this. You've got buying directly from Amazon and then getting it delivered to you and then sending it back to Amazon. So Amazon is the seller on that one. Then you've got Amazon third party, which is where someone, i.e. a third party like myself or you drop your price by X amount, you buy it, get it delivered to you, and then sell it back on Amazon for a profit. And then thirdly, you've got you can buy it from EU, such as Germany, Spain, France, things like that, delivered to the UK, and then you sell it back on the UK marketplace for a profit. So there's a couple of things you can do, and there's lots of kind of room to grow with there. So today's episode is about when you're looking at your own Amazon to Amazons, or whether you're part of a Discord group, when they ping, what are you looking for as soon as they ping into your group, or whether you're just looking yourself and you're manual sourcing on Amazon to Amazon. And there's only a couple of things that you need to look at when you're buying an Amazon to Amazon, and I'll go through that today. My only bit of advice with Amazon to Amazon is the deals go very, very quick. So if you're in a Discord group, my first bit of advice is buy it first, analyze it second, and then if it's no good, cancel it. Because there's no point you missing out on a deal when actually you could buy it, it'd be an absolute crazy good deal, and you've missed out because you're taking too long to analyse it. You can always cancel it. You're well within your rights to order something, then cancel it because you've changed your mind. So just remember that as like the key bit of advice. Buy it, then analyse it. That's the best thing you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 4 leads that are a no good, and then the final one I go through will be a one that I would buy, so you can kind of see the difference between the two. So if I start with this first one was pinged in a Discord group that I'm part of. So as you can see here, I think it was roughly pinged around this part here. So straight away, when you're looking at this deal, the first thing that you want to look at is, right, how big a drop is the Amazon to Amazon? So for this one here, if we use this as an example from here to here, you can see that it's dropped from $9.95 down to $7.99. But what's happened is the Amazon to Amazon bot has pinged it because there's been a significant drop. However, if you look back at the previous 3 months here, the price has been lower naturally anyway. So even though the drop from here to here has been, significant in terms of the drop, if you just go back to sort of 2-3 months ago, the lowest it's ever been is £6.40. So whenever you're kind of buying something, you should always look at the lowest price that it's been within the last 3 months. If the price has been lower than what you're about to buy it in the last 3 months, you probably shouldn't buy it, and it's not going to be a good Amazon to Amazon. It's very easy to get caught up. You see a massive drop and you're like, oh my God, it's crazy drop, let's buy it. But actually, you need to go a bit deeper than that. You need to look at how far back it's been and what the lowest price has been. So as you can see, if I bought it for $7.99 here, actually, if the price drops back down to £6.40, you're going to be making a loss. There just isn't enough room between here and here if the price considerably goes down, which, to be honest with you, it likely will. So that's one example. The next example is this one here. So this one pinged from here to here. So as you can see, 22.81 dropped down to £15. It's about a £7 or £8 drop, and it looks like a really good drop. And for you, you'd be like, great, it's dropped loads. But again, look back over the last 3 months. This price has a history of being that low. So this is kind of a 50-50. So you could buy it here, and then you're going to wait, hopefully that the price is going to recover back to this price here. But that's not always the case. You're not guaranteed that just because the price has been like it before, it's going to go back up to that price. So this was pinged about 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, yes, the price went up ever so slightly here, but it's gone back down to £15. So, you're going to be sat on this stock for quite a long time, and therefore your cash is going to be tied up. So you just have to be very careful with Amazon to Amazon. Drops can be manufactured in Amazon. So what can happen is you can have this sort of one where the price has been that price before and it won't recover. You've got ones where the price has increased slowly over time. So you would see like a staircase like this, and then it would come back down to normal price, and it gives the effect of a price drop. However, there isn't a price drop, it's just gone back to normal price. So you just have to be very, very careful when you're looking at these graphs. Always look back at the last 3 to 6 months to see how often the price has been at the drop that you can see, and that will tell you whether it's a good buy or not. The next example is this one here. So this one here, as you can see, the line is very steady. It's been selling at a price very consistently, over the last 3 months. And for some reason, it's dropped down to here, which you can see is £1.49. And that'll be where it's dropped, and that's what's pinged. However, that's a third-party FBA. Well, it's a new price. It's a third-party FBA. But there just, again, isn't enough drop here for it to warrant buying an Amazon to Amazon. And even if it was, the profit margins are going to be so slim for what they are that actually, it's probably not worth your time and effort after you've spent the time packing. The weight, for example, if you look at these, the weight, if I remember rightly, I think is, so it's 750 grams. So you're going to have to pack 20 of them in a box, and you're almost going to be at your limit of packing. And therefore, making 70, 80p per unit isn't really going to be beneficial, and nor are you going to be making much money on that either. So the drop here, again, just isn't considerable enough. It's a pretty straight line that, realistically, this would be one that I would normally avoid as well. There just isn't enough profit after your box, your labels, your time. Just isn't worth your time. The next one is these ones here. So again, this one dropped from here to here. So again, it went from £8.25 down to £5.49. So it's like just shy of a £3 drop. But again, the price isn't considerable for you to make a half decent profit on. And you just have to be careful that just because they ping by, say, sort of 20, 30% doesn't mean that they're overall going to be, profitable. Because again, the price is very high here. It's dropped down and it's dropped down. You're not guaranteed that that price is going to recover. Now, if you look here, this is a very inflated price. It's been steady at sort of £8.25, but the drop is measuring this from this. So it's going, do you know what? Yeah, it's dropped from £11.48 down to £5.49. However, the price isn't naturally that high, and the price isn't considerable. What you can do as well is you can go into the product details part of Keeper and have a look at the buy box 90-day average. Again, £8.95. Over 6 months, it's been £8.58. So Keeper is a very good platform for having a look at these sort of averages. So although it's saying it's £11.48 down to £5.49, realistically over the last 180 days, the data says £8.50. So there's no way you're going to make profit on a £3 difference between here and here. So again, sometimes Amazon to Amazons can be manufactured because of the way that people price up and then quickly price down. And that's what you're seeing with these. So just be wary of these kind of step ups and then a quick step down to a normal price, because you're going to get bit, unfortunately. And then the final one is one that I would consider a good buy. So I think it's very important that you guys can see what is a good buy versus what is a bad buy. So ignore this bit here because actually it pinged here. So Amazon are on the listing, and if we just go back for the last, just for an example's sake, if we go back over the last 180 days, it's £37.48. So it's gone from roughly £35 and it's gone down to £12.95. So it's like a £20 drop. And you know for a fact that that is a very considerable drop. And your last 6 months is telling you that that price is sold for much, much higher. So there is money to be made here in these sort of situations when you can see that the average price has been this and your current buy price is like £20, £30, difference in that normal sell price. And I know for a fact from being in the Discord that deal went super quick, and the person who ever bought that will be making a lot of money off that deal. So as I said, and if you've ever watched my Instagrams or anything like that, with Amazon to Amazon, you're purely looking for a very, very steady line and a sharp drop that is less than it ever has been anywhere in the past. And that is the key thing with Amazon to Amazon, is making sure that the sharp drop is the lowest that has been over the last 3 to 6 months. And that drop is a considerable drop, that there's enough money to make money with the Amazon fees, your shipping, your time and your labels and everything else in between. And that's the key thing. Now if we look at SellerAmp, what you would do is you would cross label this across the sales per month. So as you can see, 943 sales per month. Obviously that is a variation listing, but if we do that, it's telling you that out of the 943 sales per month, that 30% of that, so let's say 300 just for keep it easy, 300 of that is this listing. So it's selling rapid. So the person who would have got this lead would have bought it and will be selling it very, very quickly. So as I said, just to summarize, because I don't want to keep the video too long, is when you're looking at bad leads, you've just got to remember that the leads themselves, if the drops aren't considerable enough, or the drops are greater than the lowest price it has been before, it's likely no good. Then on these ones here, if you look at this, obviously it's dropped from here to here and here to here, but the usual price, is £22.73, and the price hasn't recovered and it's still only at £15. You just have to be very, very, very careful with these, that, you're looking here to here. This price is a usual price for this listing and it has dropped lower than that before. So just be prepared that when you're looking for a deal, that the price your price that you're gonna sell at isn't a price that's been sort of mimicked before, which you can see here. It's been at £15 a few times. And the problem with this listing is, if you buy from here to here, or here to here even, you're going to hope that it gets back to this top price, and it may never. From here on out, Amazon might just keep it at £15 and you'll be sat on that stock for a very long time. This one here, as I said, in summary, is the price just isn't considerable enough to make much profit. After your box price, your labels price, your time price, and any other sort of equipment, there isn't really much money to be made on these sort of deals. So again, if the drop isn't considerable enough, just skip it. This one here, as I said, so the drop was from here to here. However, if you look at the year kind of time frame, as you can see here, this is a very inflated price from the drop. So actually this isn't a normal selling price that you can see here. So always make sure when you're buying an Amazon to Amazon that you're not buying an inflated price that makes it look like it's a silly drop, because realistically this is the usual price that it's selling at. So from here to here, there isn't much money to be made. However, a good example of this is when you see a listing that's been very steady in price, you see a considerable drop that's a lot of money off. You're usually looking 30, 40, 50% plus, where it's a massive drop. There's good money off that. You buy it and then you can just sell it for the usual price. Then all you've got to do is cross-reference that against SellerAmp, making sure that actually the sales are there. Because even if the graphs are good and you can see the graphs as big drops, doesn't necessarily mean that the product's selling. So all you need to do is make sure that you look at the graphs. If you see a good drop, go to SellerAmp or your tool, your preference. Make sure that the listing is selling, and that is a double kind of verification that you've just bought a very good Amazon to Amazon. As I said, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I don't want to go on for too long because, I'm trying to keep this quite quick and easy for people to digest. Again, thank you for anyone that takes the time to listen to this channel and listen to any of the videos. As I said, these videos will never cost a thing to you, and I'm super grateful for anyone that tunes in and listens. And I'll continue this series every couple of days with a new video, with some new tips, some new hints. And as always, I won't ever charge you for these videos. If you do see any of the software that I list, please use the affiliate links that I drop below, because even the small amount helps me just a little bit. And as I said, thank you very much for listening. Have a great evening. Goodbye.